Alright guys, like always, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel and if you enjoyed this video. And I'm going to be quoting former WBC cruiserweight champion and former heavyweight contender, or haymaker conqueror, Tony Bellew. One thing we need ultimately to know is who the number one heavyweight in the world is. There has never been a fighter in any weight division in the history of boxing who has held 3 of the 4 belts as Joshua does and not been considered number one. So that makes that clear. Joshua is the main man. Despite what some may say, in belt and being number one, that gives you the financial leads when entering into any negotiations. If Fury or Wilder held 3 belts in the division, do you really think they would give an opponent 50-50? Joshua is offering some of these guys more in one night than they have earned in their whole career, and yet they still want to complain. He's also saying if they win and they rematch, he'd flip the terms. We know who the number one is. If you believe you can beat him, take the payday and you'll make even more in the rematch. That's what Mr. Tony Bellew had to say. And then he says something else. Do they really believe they could beat him though? I'm not sure. Whoa, he ends his little column with that. So that's what Mr. Tony Bellew had to say. Now, Tony Bellew says that some interesting things. I mean, he says he's never seen a guy in any division that has four out of the 5. Well, it's really, Joshua has so many belts, but it's really 4 out of, because the 4 major belts is the WBA, the IBF, the WBO, the WBC. But obviously, Anthony Joshua also holds the IBO. I don't really count the IBO, but he holds it. The only belt he doesn't hold is the WBC. So basically, Tony Bellew said that he's never seen any guy in any division that has, basically every belt minus 1, and he's not considered the best guy, which is true. I've never seen that either, because he's basically was trying to point at the fact that there are some people out here that believe and claim that Deontay Wilder is the main heavyweight. Meanwhile, the only guy who put in the work is Anthony Joshua. He's the one with the majority of belts. So clearly he's the number one, right? Then he claims that what if it was the other way around? What if it was Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury? What if they had all the belts that Anthony Joshua had? And let's say Joshua just had the WBC belt. Would they give their opponents a 50-50 split? Will they give their opponents the exact split that Eddie Hearn's given? For example, even Eddie Hearn went around saying, I'll give Wilder a 60-40 split, right? 60% in Joshua's favor and then 40% in Wilder's favor. Obviously, that's a great split, especially for someone like Wilder, right? So imagine if it was Deontay Wilder with all the belts. Do you really think that he would even give somebody like Anthony Joshua a 60-40 split if he was in that situation? I mean, considering the fact that he believes he's the A side to Anthony Joshua, and he has 1 belt, and he's never sold out Wembley, and he's never sold 1.5 million on pay-per-view buys. Considering that, if he feels he's the air side with just 1 belt, imagine what he would feel if he had all the belts that Anthony Joshua had. He would feel like he deserved all the money, right? So there's no way I believe there's no way Deontay Wilder would give his opponents, what Eddie Hearn has offered somebody like Deontay Wilder if he was the one with all the belts, if he was the pay-per-view star. Right? If he was making what Joshua was making. Because again, look at how greedy this man is at this point. Right now, Deontay Wilder is absolutely refusing to get to have this fight made with, Anthony Joshua. Not just because he doesn't want to fight him right now, because he's not 100% confident in himself that he could win, but also because he wants to make exactly what Anthony Joshua makes. That's a big thing for Deontay Wilder. He wants to make this man walked away from $100 million because he said he had no idea what Anthony Joshua was making, which means once again it was about the money. He does not want to know. He does not want this fight to get made, and then he finds out later on that Joshua made more money than him, because in his head and his fickle brains, he thinks that he is bigger than Anthony Joshua, so he feels like he needs to be making exactly what Joshua's making. So again, imagine if he's the A side with all the belts. He'll be going around saying, I'm the A side, I got all the belts, homie. I got all the belts. I'm the one selling out pay-per-views. I'm supposed to give you a 50-50 split. I'm supposed to be giving you a 50-50 split, right? There's no way that it just makes sense. Like, there's no way I could see Wilder being like, I'm gonna give you exactly what I'm receiving, because again, look at how much he thinks he's worth just being the WBC champion. So imagine if he had all the belts and he was a pay-per-view star. So I do think that Tony Bellew makes sense here. He makes a point right here, and then he says that if they really felt that they could beat him, take the payday, and in a rematch you'll make quadruple. And that's something I've been saying for a long time when it comes to Wilder. You guys know, if you've been following my channel for a while, you guys know that I've been telling you guys that, or at least I'm telling you guys about Deontay Wilder. He should just accept whatever Eddie Hearn's giving him. A, he's gonna make a tremendous amount of money. B, if he really felt that he could beat Anthony Joshua, beat him. If he beats Anthony Joshua, he's gonna, he will then 100% be the A side, and then he would make quadruple in the rematch. So I don't understand why it's so difficult for him to make this happen. But again, I kind of do understand. It's because this man wants to get exactly what Joshua's making. And he ends this by saying, do they really believe they can beat him though? I'm not sure. And that's another thing that I do agree with Tony Bellew. I'm not sure if they believe. And he's talking about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. I definitely don't think that Deontay Wilder is a person that believes. I think he has doubts in his mind, right? Just like he had doubts in his mind when it came to Klitschko. When it comes to Tyson Fury, he has shown me at least that he was willing to take risks, because he took a risk against Vladimir Klitschko. He fought Vladimir Klitschko when he was the man. He took a risk against Deontay Wilder. He fought Deontay Wilder when he had just 2 fights. So that's why I do think that someone like Tyson Fury has more self-confidence in himself, self-belief that he could beat a dude, because he showed me twice in his career that he was willing to do, challenge himself. Right, when many people were counting him out, both occasions against Vladimir and Wilder, he was written off. He was the underdog. There's no way he was supposed to beat Vladimir Klitschko. There was no way he could come back and have 2 bum fights and then beat Wilder, and he did really good, right? Really well against him. But when it comes to Deontay Wilder, he's a person, in my opinion, who has not shown me that he had the confidence to fight both Vladimir when he was supposed to fight him 5 years ago, and also Anthony Joshua when he's supposed to fight him now, and that's why he's prolonging this fight. When it comes to Deontay Wilder, he tends to fight guys who have a disadvantage. If you're not over the hill, if you don't look, again, look at this proof. Luis Ortiz was up there in age. Chris Arreola, he fought him. Chris Arreola looked shot to bits in his last couple of fights when he fought him. Tyson Fury had this drug addiction, was coming off a massive layoff. Fought 2 bums. It's always an advantage. So, he doesn't want to be fighting these young, hungry dudes out there. So, ask yourself this question. If Deontay Wilder was Anthony Joshua, if he was the one, fighting at Wembley, if he was the one making all this money, if he was the one with the majority out of the belts, and Joshua was the one with with 1 WBC belt, do you honestly believe that he would be giving Joshua exactly what Joshua wanted? Do you think he would be fair like that? Do you think he would even be offering him a 60-40 split? Hell no. He'll be saying, you know what? He'll be saying what I'm saying about Deontay Wilder, and what most people are saying about Deontay Wilder. What have you done to even earn this money. Like, most people are saying that about Wilder. What has this dude done that he thinks he could be like this, that he has all this leverage? That's what all the LDBC boxing fans will be saying. And you know this. Anyway, guys, let's say, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe, and I'm out. Thanks for watching.